Our Gen 3 Ram truck came with reflector-type headlights, inadequate by design. At 18 years of age, they no longer do the job. Here are the low beams. Due to the reflector design, the light is diffused and scatters all over. The high beams are marginally brighter. Here you see the brightness contrast between the OEM lights and PIA aftermarket driving lights. The high beams are on. Here it's clear that the PIA driving lights and PIA fog lights are substantially brighter than the OEM low beams. The PIA driving lights and PIA fog lights are still substantially brighter than the OEM high beams. Part of the problem is the opaque lenses on the OEM headlights. This was caused by the use of a polishing kit to restore the headlights that remove the UV protective covering. The headlight lenses have yellowed. These new AlphaRex LUXX headlights boast an anti-fogging coating and also a UV protective coating on the lenses. These headlight assemblies have LED lights, including the side markers. LED lights are well known for their long-lasting performance. This Gen 3 application is patterned to look like the Gen 5. The housings do not have enough room for 2 projector bulbs. They have one high and low beam projector. Inside this projector bulb cover is 2 plug-ins that can be hooked together to provide amber running lights and surround lights. Coupled together, the surround lights are now amber, so that when the headlights are on, the lights surrounding the headlights are amber. This is our preference over white. If you do perform the amber light coupling, make certain that all wires are routed properly and safe inside before the cover is put back in place. There are adjuster screws for both vertical and horizontal LED projector light adjustment. The factory OEM adjustment was horizontal up and down only. The LUXX headlight projectors can be adjusted more precisely. The AlphaRex LUXX headlamp assemblies are plug-and-play. They reuse the factory plugs. These plastic plugs are notorious for becoming brittle over time. Plastic tabs often slough off over time. Replacing the factory plugs can involve soldering, heat shrink tubing, and a good deal of labor. Our plug sockets were still completely intact. The connections were snug, and we backed this up with high-quality, high-tensile, UV-resistant plastic ties. This is the DRL daylight running lights harness that comes with the LUXX headlight kit. Installing daylight running lights is optional. Instructions for both the headlight and DRL wiring harness are available at the AlphaRex site. Any harness routing should be away from heat and protected from sharp or chafing edges. Once the plastic ties are secure, we will cut off the excess. Here there is a gap in the DRL harness plastic sheath. We cover this with heat shrink tubing using extreme care with heat to avoid damaging the sheath. This is a permanent, watertight bond. Connectors on the DRL harness are substantial. All wires are bound up in convolution tubing. This is something we always do. When installed properly, we want the DRL harness to look like this. Note the use of convolution tubing. Here, the DRL harness plug goes into a fuse socket. When all wiring is complete and the harness plugs are plugged in place, make certain that the plugs are out of the way before installing the headlights. Keep wires from chafing. Test the system thoroughly before installing the headlights. This LUXX headlight system has one projector with a high and low beam. The outer projectors on each side have a faint blue light. The AlphaRex headlight LED is at the inner projector. The amber parking and marker lights are distinctive. This amber surround light also surrounds the projector headlights. These inner projector lights are high and low beam. One high and low beam headlight per side is more than ample. Both headlight assemblies are fully installed now. Aim squarely at our ranch gate. The spread of the lights is clear. There is no comparison to the original headlights. LEDs are substantially better than the halogen lights in reflector housings. The cutoff at the top of the low beams is exceptional on the AlphaRex headlights. Adjusted properly, this is the brightest light possible without being glare for oncoming drivers. We bought our 2005 Ram truck new in October of 2004, and the headlights have never worked this well. The projector LEDs with a clear cutoff line are a totally different experience. Oncoming drivers are not affected by the lights, yet they are super bright. Since day one, the truck's headlights have literally vanished on dark pavement. We've adjusted these headlights intentionally for a right-of-center view. Look at the bright side of the shoulder. Every detail in this construction site is clear. Any animals or anything else lurking to the right of the truck is visible. The lights do carry over to the left side without being an obstruction or vision impairment for oncoming drivers. The low beam cutoff line can be set. Our choice is to keep it out of the back windows of vehicles stopped in front. With a 4-inch chassis lift and 37-inch diameter tires, this has always been a challenge. Not anymore. The low beam spread and cast of light is optimal for most driving conditions. High beams are over the top. Bright white light pierces the dark pavement and side of the road. We drive a lot on rural secondary roads and interstates where animals often cross the road. The right shoulder and even out into fields is no longer a blind area. We are safer, and so are the animals. When towing a trailer, this is especially helpful. It helps improve reaction time. Our purpose for installing these headlights was to make lighting safer, and it obviously is. With the original equipment headlights, even when new, we would have needed to turn on the PIA aftermarket driving lights to achieve this level of lighting. Instead, we now have LED projector headlights that comply with both SAE and DOT standards. The low beam cutoff line is a unique experience if you've not driven a truck or car with projector lights. Now we drive into a suburban neighborhood. We'll start with the headlights on high beam. There's a crest here and you can see the rise in the headlights. As the road planes out, the headlights drop. We're still on high beam. Now we've turned to low beam and you can see the clear cutoff line. As we approach the stop sign, watch the light drop below the level of the sign. The cut line is clear. As we skirt along the fence line, note how well the intersection lights up. As we make this left turn and go over the crown, watch the cut line from the low beams follow the fence. Pedestrians, children, bicyclists, cats, dogs, nothing would go unnoticed. This is a margin of safety that did not exist with the original equipment lights. Everything below the low beam cutoff is visible. In testing these lights properly adjusted, the low beam satisfied every oncoming driver's need to see. No one flashed their lights or indicated that our headlights were too bright. Yet we now have this level of headlight visibility. And the improvements don't stop there. The sequential turn signals are a dramatic improvement. We installed the AlphaRex LUXX-Series headlights to get improved headlights and a better, safer view. A bonus is a distinctively good-looking headlights that bring Gen 5 looks to our Gen 3 truck. The PIA 6-inch driving lights and fog lights are still in place. It's doubtful that we'll be using them much. These rugged AlphaRex LUXX headlights will be with us for a long time.